Hi everybody, I'm Akal Sahai. I'm with Be the Lighthouse, and today we're going to pick back up with the adventures of Lucy and read some more of Journey Through Sikhism. It's the beginning part. It's still very much a comedy. She has no clue about solstice or yoga or anything. Anyway, so we'll pick up where we left off the other day. I was, however, entirely unprepared for the 8 miles of bouncing up this road to nowhere. My confidence was shaken, to say the least. These people were off their rockers to leave the factory, and yes, the question became, what were they escaping? They obviously were not on the run from the law we had driven by the state police office at the bottom of the hill. No, the question of the moment became, why would anyone go, quote, up the hill? Without ceremony, we arrived at a gate. The great clouds of dust which had followed us up the hill all blew in the now open window as we slowed down and turned. Oh, no one to greet us, I thought to myself. Like many a place I had once spent a night, curiosity burned bright within me. What could possibly be up here that anyone could ever look forward to, let alone return time and time again? And then by extension, was I even crazier for having followed along? Oh my God, fresh cut watermelon. Wow, fresh fruit, and it was even cold. Okay, this is Eden. It most certainly was an auto workers convention, and all of their friends from the plant were there. I was hugged and passed around from person to person until we arrived in air conditioning. Ah, Mecca. I immediately resolved to spend as much time as possible in this sacred location. A lady in a straw hat handled all the details for me, explaining, "No, I need you on another team." The automobile discussion continued, and I confessed to zoning out on that part. All I heard was watermelon, and I said, "Sign me up." Straw hat lady gave me directions out the trailer and pointed out a picture of the people I was to seek out, and lo and behold, they were all dressed in their white uniforms. The man, however, had a beard. He should be easy to find, right? Yeah, about that. So it's Wednesday, June 19th. It's high noon locally, and about 1 billion degrees here in the land that time forgot. This place is so far off the grid, I don't even think it rains up here. Like the clouds somehow forgot about the place, or that it was like Jurassic Park, replete with dinosaur fossils or something. I resolved to look for them as soon as possible, imagining the possibilities of my website. Okay, so here's the thing. The men all have beards, so that's out. Now this guy supposedly has a really long beard, which is like going to the Ford plant I imagine these people all worked at and asking, "Who drives the blue Ford?" Did I mention not a single one of these people had a name I had a prayer being able to pronounce, but they put my manager's names on my badge, and I was pleasantly surprised they had not fingerprinted me, nor even taken my picture or ran a background check. Not that I have a record or anything, because I don't, but I've ran into some highly paranoid people in my time. Then I decided they were into Civil War reenactments, ergo the beards, but the white didn't fit with that. Mayhaps sensing my confusion, the straw hat lady materialized at my side, collected me, and carted me off to find Giant Beard Man, who she claimed to be friends with. Okay, so they obviously all worked at the same factory, but wouldn't the beards get caught in the machinery? Maybe the men with the long beards had other jobs. I didn't really need to know, and it didn't really matter, but I was having fun with it. The tents, of course, were all white, though the question of why burned ever brighter. Straw Hat Lady was unable to locate her quarry, but she explained, "You'll serve in here." The tent was massive, with hundreds of chairs and dozens of tables. She smiled, and with that she vanished, again leaving me to my own devices. Her name was so long and highly unpronounceable as to cause one to wonder what highly contagious affliction she suffered from, or maybe that was just me. Okay, so maybe I'll just wait for them here. I sat down and sorted my inventory, something I often do just to pass the time, setting up shop with my laptop and cell phone to wait up my employers. Much to my delight, my phone had excellent signal, and I began updating my website, detailing my latest adventures. Some donations had come in, which I transferred to my PayPal card. I posted a few pictures of the journey up the hill and looked at my email. Nothing of consequence, no job offers, pretty much same as always, so I looked through the booklet they had given me in the magical air-conditioned land known as the registration trailer. More significantly, there was a map of the place along with a lot of other information I decided to look at later. There were lots of portaloos around, which was a decided step up from the trees I had been used to on my hike. I was tired, so very tired. My daily goal had simply been to get to the next rest area. In most places, they don't care if you sleep on top of a picnic table or a bench, But setting up a tent, I unfortunately discovered, is generally frowned upon, but no one cared if you laid down on the grass. So I developed a routine. Rinse off with a washcloth, change clothes, wash my clothes in the sink, wring them out, set up the laptop, charge the phone for a bit, blog, search the parking lot for coins, look under the vending machines, buy what I could, and find a place to hide for a few hours using my backpack for a pillow. Eventually, Chevy came along, wanting me to meet her friend, Honda, who was setting up in the bazaar. Gravel, I noticed, was marginally better to sleep on than concrete. Honda seemed quite nice, as well as genuinely pleased to have someone trustworthy to watch over her jewelry in the middle of the night. She had several tables and a large amount of what were likely very valuable items. "Be a dear, won't you?" she said warmly, asking, and keep an eye on things while we finished unloading. "Sure," I replied, returning her smile. I scanned my surroundings. Electricity, major bonus, as this was the first accessible outlet I had seen. She had a large power strip set up to run the lights for all of her tables. Okay, great. To me, they were testing me. It's not that I don't trust people, or that I didn't trust people, or believe that most people were out to use you, but it was obvious there were really only a few items out, none of which were very valuable. If I were dishonest, this wouldn't cost them much, and they would know they needed to make other arrangements. I quickly counted the items on display, 39, and made a mental note to always do just that. They were gone for a long time before returning with yet another person to introduce me to, a man who must have been part of the same singing group. Maybe it was something like the Vienna Boys Choir, where there were a lot of them, and this was where they met. Cases and boxes of jewelry soon arrived and were on display, along with a large trunk, which I soon learned was where all the valuables were stored. I needed to be at the table from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., which meant I could not go to something they all went to in the morning, which they acted as if I knew all about. Okay, they discussed it in the booklet. Note to self, read the booklet. They invited me to hang out a bit so we could all get to know each other better, Honda, her husband Hyundai, and I. Chevy had vanished. I decided she went to find their union rep. They all worked at the same factory, and this was their version of an annual picnic, or so I decided. How else could they possibly all know one another so personally? I taught myself to sleep anywhere, even sitting up, so the prospect of sleeping in and indoors to boot sounded simply divine, even if it was on gravel. An hour or so later, the 3 tables were all set up, and Honda seemed quite pleased with the arrangement. Chevy appeared again with the aforementioned man with the long beard in tow. More hugs ensued, and we promptly trundled off to discuss all things watermelon. My first question was, where was it? I wanted more. There was something highly curious about this man and the way he looked at me. It was quite penetrating, almost as if he were looking through me rather than at me. "So where are you from?" Now to him, this was just his way of getting to know me. Well, I had nothing to hide, so I answered, "I live in the bazaar." He nodded. "Nice, very roomy. But I asked, where are you from, not where do you live?" He was quite correct. I had not answered his question. "I'm from nowhere. I'm from everywhere." He smiled and nodded approvingly. "Ah, an existentialist. We're going to get along great." All in all, it seemed quite a simple task sequence. Get the watermelon and serve it. Okay, great. Can we have some now? I asked. Well, he replied, we don't officially serve until tomorrow, but we can, sure. The other managers soon showed up with a wide array of watermelon-themed scarves, which evidently were a highly prized badge of honor to identify one another amongst so many auto workers who all dressed alike. I was even allowed to choose my own, though I debated if I really wanted to carry one more thing around, especially if it was not more money. Ultimately, I decided it was pretty cool and tied it around my left wrist. They seemed happy I had adopted their flair, and then proceeded to make me the most popular person in camp, as I was the one with the watermelon. People instantly loved me, which was quite powerful, even if it was just because I had the watermelon. I was, however, increasingly concerned about having deceived Chevy. She had said we would have dinner that night, and I had all manner of new friends to hang out with, none of whom cared in the least that I was officially homeless. On the contrary, they all seemed quite eager to hear more of my backpacking odyssey. Who was I to deny an adoring public? At first, when people introduced themselves, I thought they had sneezed and would say, "Bless you," not knowing their secret handshake or proper greeting. They all seemed to like it and would bow their heads, so I bowed my head in turn. I dared not ask anything, for I did not want to be exposed as an outsider, from a motorcycle factory or some other manner of rival out to steal their manufacturing secrets or spy on their secret meeting. I regaled them with tales of what it's like hitchhiking through Oklahoma. The only people that stop are the police because of the signs that say hitchhikers may be escaped prisoners. I had not planned on that. This did, though, cause an increase in contributions, so good times. It was, however, highly detrimental to my boot shoes. At $170, replacements were out of the question. They thoroughly enjoyed all of my stories and were highly interested in the fact that I had full internet access, which evidently was quite rare at their secret auto worker camp. They have deliberately so no secrets could be leaked. Friends, I know, what a concept, right? So I told them all I would be in the bazaar later and they could come. They could come and get on the internet and we could hang out because that's what one did with friends, right? Friends, wow. I'm still blown away by that. For years, I had no emotion at all. Now to have it come flooding in at great torrents is quite intense, to say the least. I think I had simply turned it all off in my focus to survive. I didn't date. Coupling was for suckers, fools with cars, homes, clean underwear, jobs, and more stuff than an entire block full of people could possibly ever use up in 12 lifetimes. If it did not fit into my backpack, I did not need it. This, of course, excluded the Bluetooth headset I had my eyes on as it went on my head, not in my pack. Was I jaded? You bet your behind I was. Society had jack-shafted me unless I had dropped off the grid. But I digress. So there I am, laughing like never before, being the center of attention with people who were every bit as disheveled as I was, from all walks of life, from all over the world. And I think that's a good place to pause for the day. I hope you enjoyed that. So I will leave a link to my website below where you can order copies if you like that. Anyway, thank you for listening. You'll have a great day. I'll see you soon.